Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready? I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this.
What's good, everybody? It's your man's KJ the Great, dropping another edition of All Sports Media TV. But first, I want to say, I hope and pray everything is great your way. Now, let's get to it. So, the first video I dropped tonight was the Claressa Shields-Savannah Marshall fight. Claressa Shields is now 13-0 with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Savannah Marshall finished the night at 12 wins, 1 loss with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. But then we moved on to the Devin Haney, George Kamboses fight. Devin Haney came in 28 wins, no losses, no draws, with 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He got a unanimous decision, putting him at 29 wins by way of 29 wins with 15 wins still by way of knockout. George Kamboses is now 20 wins, 2 losses, no draws. And then we had the Wilder fight, who was 42 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. 41 wins coming by way of knockout, going up against Robert Helenius, who was 31 wins, 3 losses, no draws. So, here we go. We're going to talk about the Devin Haney versus Kamboses Jr. rematch. We're going to talk about that first. So, from what we watched, round to round, I want to let everybody here go ahead and give their opinions on the fight first. We'll start with Bobby, we'll go Devin, then we'll go Hooch. So the first 4 rounds, Bobby, give us your opinion on the first 4 rounds.
First 4 rounds of the Haney and Kamboses fight, I believe Haney dictated the pace and took control early. Now, as far as compared to the first fight, he dominated right out with the jab. He still utilized it pretty heavily, but he didn't really just rely on like he did at first. So he kind of had a different strategy, but with the same game plan going in. However, with Kamboses, he attempted to try to switch up his whole entire fight plan, which kind of backfired on him.
Yep.
As he was, as you all noticed, he started off with orthodox, and then was switched back and forth to southpaw. However, Haney picked up on that fairly quick and was like, okay, now I'm going to give you a taste of what I got, and we're going to dictate changes and make this fight go the way we are. So in my opinion, Haney took control, dominated early. He actually demonstrated some of his power a little bit too. I know a lot of naysayers and haters tend to say, oh, Haney's a boring fighter. All he does is he just dances around the ring. But what he does do is he's actually a skillful fighter, not a boring fighter.
Yep. Devin. So from round 4 on, what do you feel Haney did to get the victory?
From 4 on, well, I just want to go back to the first 3, to be honest with you. He didn't look as comfortable as I thought it was. And let me just start off by saying I am no boxing expert. I don't watch too many fights, but the one I do see or whatever, I got a good analysis on. Those first 3 rounds or whatever, he just had to get a good feel for him. He kept switching on him in the first 2-3 rounds roughly, but moving on to the 4, 5, 6, Haney was just in his bag at that point, to be honest with you. Yep. I think that's where he got cut in the 6th, 7th.
Right. Yep.
I think after a while, you can only switch so much before he can actually figure it out, man.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say, honestly.
What was your assessment after about 4 or 5 rounds?
Well, I actually want to do like the full fight, so coming into it, as everybody said, Kamboses did a lot of switching, orthodox or unorthodox, southpaw. All right, but it seems as though like Kamboses' camp, he didn't focus on his fighting technique. It seemed like he came out with trying to throw different styles to take Devin Haney off his game. But like everybody else said, it's going to be a time in the fight where he catches up and catches his rhythm. Yep. And if you watch the fight, you can clearly see that Devin started to time that. My thing is, as I told Jamie during the fight, I thought that it was going to go, 8 rounds.
Right.
I didn't think he was going to go the distance because the way it was looking, it looked like Kamboses was going to run himself out.
Yep.
However, I will say he is a warrior, but at the same time, Devin was he was laying back a little bit, playing it a little bit more smart. Because I think if he would have really went in, he would have got that knockout, but it also would have been a high chance of him getting knocked out. Because Kamboses throws those wild punches that you don't really see coming.
Yeah.
Right.
But Devin ruled the fight, bro.
Yeah.
Kamboses didn't really land too much. He probably only had 3 rounds where he landed double digits of punches. For the most part, it was Devin playing defense and doing it well.
Yeah, I scored the fight 9-3 in favor of Devin Haney. The problem that Kamboses ran into was a timing thing. Is you can only switch so much before somebody picks up on the timing. And when you're boxing, it's not like when you're fighting in other martial arts styles. You can switch in other martial arts styles at any given time, and you, as a martial artist, you have to worry about more than just your hands being thrown. When you only have to worry about your hands being thrown, you can pick up on the timing. So for me, George Kamboses, after about the 5th or 6th round, it kind of set in that, okay, it's kind of like when Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall fought. This is what I got. This is what I bring to the table. Can you figure it out? And when the opponent figured it out, what can you do to keep that person on their toes? So Devin Haney, he retained his titles. He is still the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, 135. We will see where this goes. He beat George Kamboses twice in Australia. You got fights lined up with the likes of Lomachenko, possibly in early 2023, or Shakur Stevenson in early 2023. We don't know how that's going to play out. You still don't know if Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia are going to be locked in for January 7th, but that's left to be seen. We will play that out, and we will have more videos on that. Now we're going to move on to...
Before we do that, I want to give a shout out to Shields, because if I'm correct, man or woman, black or white, Mexican, whatever, she's the only boxer in history to go undisputed 3 times.
Yes, she is.
Thanks.
Undisputed, only boxer, male or female, to go undisputed in 2 different weight divisions, 160 and 154, and the only boxer in history to go undisputed 3 times, twice in 160 and once in 154. And the only American boxer to go gold medalist at the Olympics 2012 and 2016, male or female. That is a big accomplishment.